In this video, we deconstruct a 6-mark GCSE science question on the synapse. We look at the key bits of science surrounding the synapse, as well as how to get those all-important 6 marks. So the 6-mark question we'll be covering in this video is, describe what happens at the synapse. As with all these 6-mark question videos, I'd suggest you pause the video now and then unpause once you've had the opportunity to have a go at the question. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to have a go at the question. Let's start off with the question stem. It's a describe question, which means you're expected to recall some facts, events, or processes in an accurate way. So you'll need to describe what you would see. Now let's take a look at the science behind the synapse and then pick out those all-important scientific key terms that would get us the marks. So the video shows the region where 2 neurons meet. This small gap is called the synapse. As an impulse travels along the first axon and reaches the end of the neuron, this triggers the nerve ending of the neuron to release a chemical messenger, which is called a neurotransmitter, into the synapse. These neurotransmitters then diffuse across the synapse and bind with the receptor molecules on the membrane of the second neuron. Notice how the shape of the receptor molecules are specific in shape to the specific neurotransmitter from the first neuron. As soon as they bind, this stimulates the second neuron to transmit the electrical impulse. Let's take a look at that again. So as the impulse reaches the end of the nerve ending, the neurotransmitter gets released into the synapse, diffuses across, and then binds to the specific receptor molecule, which stimulates an impulse in the next neuron. And this is how all the neurons in your nervous system are connected together. So what are the main key terms that we would need for our answer? Well, the first would be neuron, obviously. Also, the neurotransmitter would be important, and it is also important that we mention the receptor molecules that are specific to the neurotransmitter. So now let's take a look what a model answer would contain. So your answer should contain any of the following 6. It's time to mark it. So the first thing we want to do is talk about what the synapse is. So the synapse is the small gap where 2 neurons meet. The next thing we want to mention is about the electrical impulse. So an electrical impulse travels along the first axon. The electrical impulse triggers the nerve ending of a neuron, which then releases a chemical messenger called a neurotransmitter. And it's important that it releases this into the synapse so that it can diffuse across the synapse. So the neurotransmitter diffuses across the synapse, which is obviously the gap between the neurons, and it binds with the receptor molecules on the membrane of the second neuron. The receptor molecules, and this is on the second neuron, only binds to the specific neurotransmitter released from the first neuron. Once it's binded, what then happens is it stimulates an electrical impulse in the second neuron. If you included these things, you will get 100%, 6 marks. So how did you do? How could you improve your answer? Check back through your answer, see where you missed some of those key points, make sure you've got those key scientific terms in your answer as well. And while you're here, why not have a go at some of the other 6-mark questions? Have a great day.